Okay, it is 11/11 on April 11th in the year 2026. So that's 11/11/11 today. Lots of ones all lined up. Beautiful energy. I'm Stephen the Channeler. Stephanie's off doing errands, and so this is a gathering of questions for the dragon. We meet here every Saturday at 11:11 for you to have access to a cosmic golden dragon. It is kind of cool to be able to do this, to have someone go into channel and be able to respond to questions in the chat and all that stuff. So anyway, we're happy to do this every Saturday, and then on every Wednesday we do blessings from the dragon, which is more of an energetic reading. And well, he does energetic readings in both cases, but it's a little more in depth into the energy of the day and what's going on, and sharings and blessings on that level. So in this case, it's more questions, and we ask that the questions not be of a highly personal nature. We're not doing personal readings right now. So basically, what we do is we answer questions that are of interest to those who are gathered here. If it's really super personal and no one else can really get anything from it, we'll probably skip it. So put your questions in the chat in all uppercase when you're ready to do so. And while everyone's gathering, we'll make some announcements. So the first announcement is that golden code number 5, which is I am called. This is your deep soul purpose, your soul mission being activated. This golden code is extremely important for many of you to feel ready to walk your golden path into the golden age. Truly build your dreams. It's aligning with your soul purpose. So important. Not just your own propensities and the things that make you happy here on earth, but the reason you came to begin with this time around, and all the reasons that you've come in connected lifetimes leading up to this. So it's a beautiful code. So that happens tomorrow at 1:11. That's 1:11 in the afternoon tomorrow. After the Dragon Working with Dragon Energies Level 2 class, which happens at 11:11. So, and those Level 2 classes are closed. If you missed your chance to get into that, yeah, the next signups will probably open up sometime in July for August classes. So sorry if you missed your chance. We don't do those too often, and we only do the level 2 ones live. You can get the level 1 classes as a recording, but level 2 is just too advanced to be a general recording that's available. So that is happening tomorrow. Let's see, any other announcements? We are possibly doing another interview, but we will discuss that. We as the date firms up, it will probably be on a Friday, upcoming Friday, perhaps next Friday. This coming, less than a week away. And we will keep you updated on that as we go forward. And we are doing more and more interviews these days just to spread out into a wider global audience. And so, speaking of global audience, let's do shout outs. We did add a little dot for Downers Grove, Illinois, I believe. So let's see. Yes, there is a dot right there by the Great Lakes. Beautiful. So please shout out where in the world you are right now in this moment of now, and we will include you in the shout outs. We'll feel your energy checking in here, and it's beautiful. We love doing this. So we have Berkeley, California in the house. We have Tyrol, Austria, and the beautiful Alps in the house. We have, is that Trib, Holland? Beautiful. Haven't been to Trib, or at least maybe I passed through it, but didn't notice it. I'm not sure. And we have Camden, New Jersey. We have Belgium. Aarschot, Belgium is in the house. We have South Africa in the house. Thailand is in the house. Toronto, Canada in the house. We have London, UK in the house. Worcester, Massachusetts. And Malatya, Turkey joining us today. And let's see, we have Poland in the house. Do we have a dot on Poland? Well, it's pretty close by. I think we'll have to take a closer look at that. We have, let's see, Koblenz, Germany in the house, and Groves, Texas is in the house. So beautiful gathering. We're well represented. We have Asia and Africa. We're kind of light on South America these days. We usually have someone joining from Chile and sometimes Brazil, but looks like today not so much. We've had Buenos Aires too in the past, but for whatever reason, maybe dragons are already just walking the streets down in South America, so they don't need to tune in here or something. We can hope anyway. Okay. Well, welcome to everyone. So, without any further ado, let me drop into channel, and we'll see what Jadon Se has to say for all those gathered. And if you want to have your energetic read for this reading that he does in the beginning, just give inward permission. Jadon Se, I give you permission to access my energetics and incorporate this reading, my energies into this reading. So that's all that's necessary. We don't violate any free will around here. That's divine law, universal law, and those who violate free will are being held account and will be held to account. So, okay, let me drop into channel. I am Jadon Se, Golden Dragon of the Third Arc of Consciousness, and this is another gathering of questions for the dragon. Dear ones, thank you for gathering with us today, and let us do our traditional reading. We will pull an oracle card for those who have given their permission to be incorporated into this reading. Today's oracle card blessing, dear ones, is 33, Rose Breath Blessing, dear ones. Beautiful energies of the Divine Feminine. This is a very important card, dear ones, and very apropos of this moment of now. Let us just say that the Divine Feminine is on the rise, dear ones, and sometimes it causes sneezing. Oh, my apologies, and hopefully the microphone was not blown into smithereens. Dear ones, it can be dangerous when dragons sneeze, even when they are coming through channels. Sometimes things burst into flames, and we are mindful of our sneezes in this place. Dear ones, the Divine Feminine is rising right now, so needed. For thousands and thousands of years, the Divine Feminine has been suppressed, dear ones. Yes, actively suppressed by, let us say, toxic masculine patriarchies. We are not dishonoring the masculine divine. There is a beautiful energy of protectiveness and encouragement and outward striving and building and doing things that come from the divine masculine. We are just saying that in these last few thousand years, a sort of toxic version of the masculine has been, let us say, holding sway over the course of history, and so many different, let us say, inappropriate things have been happening. And so we welcome, dear ones, the rise of the Divine Feminine. It is so needed, dear ones. A beautiful balance of the two is necessary. When it is out of balance either way, things are unpleasant and, let us say, less than beneficial. So let us just continue. Dear ones, the pink and white light of a dragon's rose breath are a great blessing of divine love and creativity. This energy is uplifting to every aspect of your being and is lovingly creating a situation of nurturing, care, and safety, dear ones. Mm. Many people only feel this energy at their grandmother's house or a similar sanctuary of love. Feel it now, amplified greatly. Dear ones, let us just say that the divine feminine, when it comes through in a pronounced and pure way, let us just say that it ignites your heart. It ignites the hearts of everyone who touches this energy. For this loving energy is itself unity consciousness and of the highest divine, dear ones. This is why so many masters and angels and dragons have counseled the wise counsel that love is all you need. Love comes first. Love is the source and substance of beingness. Dear ones, this is beautiful divine wisdom coming from the divine feminine, dear ones. Hold on 1 second. Sometimes after sneezes, dragon energies continue to come through the nose, and so this can be disruptive when, like we said, it is like lava or things breaking into, bursting into flames. So, dear ones, you are safe, protected, and supported, loved, and completely provided for. Even if you can't feel this, it is very true, dear ones. Let the love and support of your closest dragons, guides, angels, masters, star families, and ancestors flow into your heart and life. This is very real, dear ones. Let it in. And let us continue with an extended reading for this moment of now. Dear ones, now is it time for you to gather up your life force, let us say. Prioritize self care, you might say. So many of you are so giving in service to Gaia and your fellow beings that you forget to concentrate on your own self care. And we have said many times, dear ones, that a nurse in a hospital is of no use to patients if she or he collapses due to fatigue. So, yes, even someone whose service is so needed, like a nurse in an ER, needs to prioritize self care to be of greater service. So, dear ones, let us not forget to take care of our own life force and our own energies. Let us recharge in nature. Let us take rest as needed. Take care of our health and our nutrition and our mental well beingness and all of this, dear ones. Just be gentle with yourselves in these times, for so much is coming. There are changes sweeping across this planet. Most of them have not reached you yet where you are, and so therefore we are saying just gather up your energy, gather up your life force by focusing on self care at this time. And as you do so, dear ones, you are protected, you are supported. This rose ray breath blessing, this rose breath, dear ones, is not just symbolic. You are indeed loved and nurtured and protected right now, and you are very safe. It is like being at grandma's house. Yes, dear ones. So, know that you are protected. Feel this, dear ones. And as you do, also know that right now is not the time to act. It is a time to just relax and gather yourself together. If you want to go on a strenuous hike, this is fine. It is taking care of your own well beingness. We are not saying you need to be lazy and sit on the couch and eat snacks and things like this. We are just saying prioritize that which makes you shine, that which makes your life enriched and increases your life force and your energy, your enthusiasm, your joy. Dear ones, prioritize self care right now. So, this rose breath blessing is a loving way of reminding you to take care of yourself, to love yourself, to honor yourself and the journey that you have been on, dear ones. For things are changing. Like we have said, change is sweeping across this your world. Positive change, dear ones. It sometimes will seem like negativity as shocking truths come to the surface, inappropriate behaviors, the rescuing of small little ones from underground facilities where they were inappropriately treated, and all of this, dear ones. Some of this will be shocking and tearjerkers of awakening. However, this is necessary. These inappropriate behaviors have been going on for thousands of years, and it is only when they are brought to light, and the light is shone upon them, that change truly comes, and that justice is restored, that integrity is restored, and a brighter future dawns. So just know that what you are seeing that seems like darkness in this time is just the revealing of long festering wounds and darkness that have been hidden beneath the surface, so that they may be healed, cleaned, cleansed, and brought to justice, and let us say, dealt with appropriately. So prepare yourselves for this, dear ones. The rest of this, your 2026, will be revelation after revelation, change after change, so many things happening, let us say, that were hidden beneath the surface. And we were asked last week about your Iran conflict, and we were focusing at that time upon the end of petrodollar, and the end of oil, and the end of old systems of energetic in control. There are so many other things happening beneath the surface in this region, dear ones. Yes, old records coming to light and to be so shown to the public, and evidence of wrongdoings, and deep, let us say, proof of darkness that has held sway upon this world, that is all, let us say, connected with those toxic, masculine, patriarchal energies coming from not only humanity, but also inappropriate beings who have come to this world to try to rule, dear ones. So let us just say that that time is ending because of these rose breath energies, this divine feminine rising, light being shown into the dark places, little ones being liberated and healed, deep healing happening to humanity at this time, dear ones. So, this has been a very long reading, and your Stephen's nose keeps plugging up. Give us one more chance here to clear it out. Dear ones, apparently it is sort of a time of year where many things are floating around, and mm, apparently it is causing the sneezing of this one, and so we are going to give him a healing blessing to clear up his sinuses, and there. Thank you, dear Stephen, for letting us use this voice and this nose and this mouth of yours. So, we are practicing our preaching. We are prioritizing self care. Beautiful, dear ones. This is your reading for the day. And those of you who wish to share on this or add to this or come with your questions, please post in all uppercase, and we will read from these questions. We will, let us see what is being asked here. How do you suggest to work with power places? Let us just say that by saying power places, we are just going to rephrase this and say sacred places, or places of concentrated divine and natural life force energies, dear ones. And so working with these places is the same as working with any place, dear ones. Feel into the place. Allow your feet to guide you. Allow your heart to pull you around. Allow your hands to touch whatever they are, let us say, drawn towards, perhaps picking up a pocket stone, or touching a tree bark, or touching a branch or a flower or something like this, dear ones, and follow your heart. Let your own beingness simply pull you to places. Let your attention and your curiosity bring you around, and you will, dear ones, when you surrender to this inner guidance that is always present, you are very surely guided to exactly where you need to be. Many of you are very good at this, getting your thoughts and your mind out of the way, so to speak. It is, you're not destroying your mind or putting a dunce cap on it and sending it to the corner. You are simply allowing the mind to come along for the ride and not to be standing in the way so much. And so let us just say that those of you who let the heart lead and the rest of your beingness lead the way, are the ones that are going to be working the most appropriately with any place and any energetic field that you are currently in. And so, if we think of these as energetic fields of beingness that we are appearing in, just work with the energies of that field in whatever way feels most appropriate to your beingness. And how can you tell, dear ones, that it is appropriate? It will bring a smile to your face, a sparkle to your eyes. It will bring a glowing countenance to your expressions, your body language, dear ones, a lightness of being, a feeling of correctness. Follow this, dear ones, and this is the best way. And then get creative, dear ones. Be creative. If you imagine a river of energy coming from the sky or the stars into that place, play with it, encourage it, take a shower in the energy. Play with this. Be creative, dear ones. This is only an example. You can also work with the Fae or work with Gaia herself directly. Have a conversation with the divine or whatever seems appropriate to your beingness. This is how you work with these so-called power places, dear ones. Follow your heart, your curiosity, your sense of joy. Jadon Se, what is the meaning of invasive species that are causing havoc within the Wisconsin tree population? Also, is there a certain beetle population that does harm in the Canadian forest? What to do? Dear ones, please know that these pestilences that seem to be, let us say, like some sort of harm that is done to a region, or a great pox or a plague upon the land, dear ones, all of them have a place and a time where their energy is appropriate. All, let us say, dis-ease of any type, whether it be for trees or waterways or human or other life forms, all of these have purposes. Even the most unpleasant things like mosquitoes that are, let us say, transmitting malaria and other diseases, or beetles that are invading trees. It seems to you, dear ones, that the trees are being killed by the beetles. And take a closer look. It is the beetles who are showing up to do their job, for perhaps this forested area is growing too thick. There has been a drought. Certain trees have been stressed out to certain levels where they have become weak. It is like these beetles are very much like wolves that are in an area. Ranchers may hate the wolves because they sometimes take their herd, their cattle or whatnot. The wolves have a very important role to play, and that is keeping the herd strong. The ones that are weak and dying of disease or have been injured beyond repair, the wolves take them. It is a mercy, dear ones, for the wolves to take a limping deer, say, or elk, who is probably not going to recover, and just limp around and suffer. And it is a mercy and a great service to the strength of the herd, the elk or the deer herd, so to speak. And so these wolves have a very important role to play. Similarly, dear ones, your beetles, seemingly invasive beetles, are coming to, let us say, take the trees that are stressed out, the ones that were going to die a slow death anyway, are greatly taken without so much lingering suffering and deterioration, let us say. The beetles will move through an area. Sometimes it can feel like locusts descending upon crops. It feels like a great curse upon the land. No, dear ones, your Gaia has her reasons. There are rhythms to nature. There is a wisdom that is mysterious to you from where you see. And because of these changes upon the land, new situations can appear that will be even more beneficial. Sometimes it takes a generation for the forest to recover in a better way. And also, dear ones, oftentimes this is part of climate shifting that is naturally occurring and also occurring due to emerging circumstances upon your world, whether it be industrialization or certain solar energies coming from the sun or from the greater cosmos. Dear ones, your planet is always adjusting. Your Gaia is always adjusting. Think of her as having her own immune system, and that these beetles may be more similar to white blood cells having an immune reaction than invasive species. Just know, dear ones, that there is a rhythm and a purpose. Do not fight it. Seek to understand it. Jadon Se, what is the relationship between the black sun, Saturnian worship, and the black cube in Mecca? Dear ones, let us just say that there are dark energies that have been purposefully positioned in places within your solar system and upon your globe by beings who wish to control, who wish to create false realities, so to speak, illusions, or a false matrix, if you will. There is, let us say, there are archon energies named this by groups of beings who have dealt with those they have deemed to be the archons. And these archon energies, let us say, oftentimes use these black cubes, dark black sun energies, black stones, and things like this. You even find their names in corporations like Blackwater or Black this or Black that. And so, dear ones, let us just say that there are secret societies of beings who have their own agendas operating behind the veil of many of these black objects, black symbols, black beingnesses. And yes, there is a base upon Saturn where recently archon energies like this were, let us say, defeated and ushered away. And there are black cubes, tesseracts, all sorts of things. There is a black pyramid, an inverted black pyramid underground in your Alaska, created by similar beingnesses who wish to use it for like an anti-grid, anti-ley lines, you might say, malevolent. Let us just say that there are those whose purposes are not always for the greatest, highest good, and oftentimes they use these devices. We will not go into their any more of their relationship between all of these. Then they carry one thing in common: dark designs, dear ones. Designs for domination, designs for, let us say, control of humanity, for limiting the great potential that is humanity, either by religious means or by direct energetic matrix means, things like this. And so, so often, dear ones, these beingnesses, these shapes are black. This does not mean that all black things are necessarily evil or not for the highest good. Your obsidian is a beautiful stone that is a black stone that it can be used for very beneficial purposes, to negate negativity, you might say, and to create protective grids and all of this, and to establish flows of beautiful energy. So, not all black objects are evil. So let us not fall into that sort of paranoia about things like this. And yes, dear ones, the black hole sun worship of your Saturn energies. Let us just say, beings that have their own very specific agenda that is not for the highest good often have symbols like a black hole sun or a black central sun, they might even call it. Many times these beings and groups of beings will invert something beautiful and try to make it twisted and inappropriate. And so this is why you always find that things are inverted that are very powerful. Like your number 666 is actually originally symbolizes, and still to this day, beautiful, unconditional love, dear ones. Deep, wise, unconditional love. And so, therefore, those who wish to squash love like a bug, who wish to practice dark energy manipulation and all that, have tried to co-opt this 666 and make it a bad number and make it scary. You should be scared of 666 because it moo-ha-ha, there's some devil hiding behind it somewhere. Dear ones, this is a purposeful perversion of a beautiful thing called unconditional love. So this happens so often. Just watch for it and claim back these beautiful symbols of goodness, like your swastika that was inverted by the Nazis is an ancient symbol of great blessing and love, and the true swastika of Buddhism and the ancient cultures, dear ones. This happens over and over and over again. So do not just assume that because you see a black this or a black that, a black cube or a black pyramid, that it is always necessarily inappropriate, let us just say, for the highest good. So let us just say that we are breaking as many relationships as we are creating here. Develop an awareness of that which has been co-opted and inverted by those who do not want the greater good. It has been said, "Open me completely, let the infinite express through this form for the benefit of all." How does this credo fit in with the scope of building our dreams? So, dear one, this is interesting because you are making a beautiful connection between unity consciousness, divine consciousness, the infinite expressing through this one, let us say, or these ones. And how does this infinite expression fit in with building our dreams? Well, dear ones, it is very simple. If your dreams are for the highest, greatest good, they are obviously divine dreams. If they are dreams that seem like they are just building a beautiful grand house for you by a waterfall or a lake somewhere in a beautiful natural place, look into this. Is this also in line with what is for the highest good of all? Would it be beautiful for every human being to live in such a beautiful place? Would it be sustainable by Gaia? Can we do this with well, let us say, the systems of abundance that we have flowing right now? Can we make this work for all? And if the answer, dear ones, is yes, if all wish to live in such a beautiful place, it is possible. Then, dear ones, your own dreams are not in conflict with the highest, greatest good. It is only when your dreams require causing harm to another, taking something of value away from someone else, making their life more miserable or smaller in some way, or limiting others around you. These are the only times when your own dreams are inappropriate. So long as you are doing no harm to others, and dear ones, we do not need to fret over whether or not we are harming the worms in the soil or something like this. Let us draw the line at harming other beings who are operating at your level and not being harmful to Gaia in general. So you do not have to fret over every last housefly in your home, or many of you beautiful ones do escort them out lovingly and do not harm them. And this is beautiful. We do encourage this. However, do not get distracted and say, I cannot build a home here, for it would disturb the lives of these gophers here, or the moles, or the worms, or the bugs, or the birds, or these trees need to be removed. And dear ones, so long as the net good is for all, and that these gophers and worms and can find places to still thrive and be beautiful, perhaps a few hundred yards to the left or right of where you are building your house. Dear ones, do not fret over these smaller things, so long as in the grand scale of things it is for the greatest, highest good. Your dreams are good. Dear Jadon Se, can you tell us something about the fifth element called ether? Let us just say, dear ones, that from a human Newtonian physics standpoint, which is antiquated by some 135 years or so or more, depending on what moment of now you are listening to this from, dear ones, do you understand that these sorts of understandings of form being the foundational reality, of these so-called elements being the building blocks of reality, dear ones, this idea itself is antiquated. It is quaint. It is, let us say, most of humanity has moved beyond this. We are no longer dealing with building blocks like making things out of a Lego set. We are now dealing with consciousness creates reality. Consciousness creates the arrangement of the very elements of which you speak, and consciousness brings about your reality. So rather than focusing on the ether or on any of these elements, so called, as being foundational or fundamental to this, let us move to the true foundational presence, and that is consciousness, awareness, dear ones. So if you wish to know about this ether, yes, dear ones, there is, let us just say, a field upon which you can think of this as the canvas upon which all form springs up and is sustained, the substrate, so to speak, of beingness here. If you think of this as a blank canvas for an artist, or a blank sheet of paper for the author, or what have you, it is very similar to this so-called ether. There is this great search in your science for something called dark matter, which is funny, and it is like a little joke. The more they look, the less they find, and no one has discovered this truly dark matter, that it is even a thing. And so it is just because there is a deep mystery to beingness, that there is this grand search for dark matter. Dear ones, let us just say that, like this, you could search all your lifetime for this ether and not find it. However, there is something that is a field of beingness. This is the one you can hear Rumi speak of in his poems. And beyond all ideas of good and evil, there is a field. I will meet you there. That's this sort of thing, dear ones. It is, let us just say that you do not need to concern yourself with it any more than the artist needs to concern his or herself with the blank canvas. It is just the substrate upon which your reality is painted. So don't get too caught up in it, let us say. Jadon Se, is there a parallel earth with a parallel self that is more expanded in consciousness? Dear ones, let us just say that it is gross simplification to say a parallel reality. Multi-dimensional realities, dear ones, are what we are dealing with. Every choice you make is a fork in your own beingness, and when you have enough of these forks, it is not just, let us say, like a little trail along like a breadcrumb trail that is being left upon a 2D surface. No, dear ones, these forks go up and down, backward, forward, all of this. Every choice you make creates a new reality. This is not a parallel, perhaps, reality. Some of them are convergent and divergent, and some of them are indeed roughly parallel or roughly, let us say, moving in a certain direction together. And there are coherent pathways and incoherent pathways, and so this is an attempt to oversimplify multidimensional reality. There are millions, infinite worlds, dear ones, infinite earths, even that have some of them more expanded consciousness and some of them less, and many, many, many beyond count. As many stars as there are in the sky, there are that many earths that can be experienced. So your choice will predicate which one you choose. I choose the world where, and then you walk onto it, dear ones. Is the fall of the patriarchy inevitable, or are there some timelines existing where it continues on? Dear ones, let us just take a look at patriarchy. When you say this, when you say patriarchy, do you mean a government run by men? Is this what you mean? Do you mean that the elders are only listened to if they are male elders? What do you mean by the patriarchy, dear ones? It is, let us just say, patriarchal systems can be wise and can be corrupt and can be toxic. What are the reasons for this? It depends on whether or not they are operating from divine masculine standpoints or toxic masculine. And what is the difference? Divine masculine will use the push energy of the masculine to create, to make things better for those around you, to promote justice and protection, to uplift and uphold what is right and what is true. And toxic masculinity is aggressive, selfish behavior, dear ones, aggressive, corrupt behavior, aggressive, bullying sort of behavior where I am going to call the shots because I have the biggest muscles, or I have the biggest gun, or I'm holding a bomb or something like this. This is toxic masculinity. And so let us just say you need to be very specific about which patriarchy you are referring to and which ones will remain, which ones will be dismissed like a bad case of fleas, let us say. It is because of this that discernment is necessary, dear ones. Deep discernment. If you do not have this discernment, you are lost. For this is the only way for us to understand the difference between appropriate behavior and inappropriate behavior. And so there are, dear ones, timelines existing and will continue to exist where many different types of patriarchy are still holding sway over the particular timeline in question, some toxic, some divine. So let us just say that if you wish to experience a world of patriarchy, you can say, I choose the world where there is a patriarchy. And then you can choose the world where it is either a divine or a toxic patriarchy. You can choose the world of some dystopian future where things are being exploded with nuclear weapons. And we all know this is not divine masculine energy. And then, dear ones, there are also matriarchies, and there are beautiful balances that can be had. And this is where you will only find golden ages where there are balances of matriarchy and patriarchy, where the divine masculine and the divine feminine energies are in cooperation. This is the only way that you can have beautiful justice and appropriate energies, peace and love, all working together in a way that works. For if it is too, let us just say, feminine heavy, there is this sort of pie in the sky where things are ideal on paper, but they don't work out in reality. They do not pan out the way they need to. And if there is too much of an imbalance of patriarchy, then it is too forcing and forceful, top down, hierarchical, all of this. When they balance, dear ones, this is when the beautiful wisdom and love and energy of the divine feminine can be made so by the divine masculine together, working together to complete this beautiful golden age. This is the balance is so necessary, dear ones. It is like if you're in a rowboat and you only have one oar, you're going to go in circles. It doesn't matter whether it was the left oar or the right oar, or you could try to do one paddle on one side and then move the oar and do it on the other one at a time. And dear ones, you're not going to go very fast doing this or make any good forward progress. It is when you have both oars in balance that you can really go somewhere. So, this is what we are speaking of. You are a real trooper, Steve. Thanks to your service to remain for these lives. Are you speaking of the Stephen that we are using as a channel here? Yes, dear ones, each of you has been of service in so many ways. We would like to acknowledge everyone present here and thank everyone present here. Your work matters. All of you matter, dear ones. How high is the chance of civil wars in Western Europe, especially in Ireland and Great Britain? Dear ones, let us just say there are many different kinds of what you deem to be civil war. Some civil wars are, let us say, political in nature and never involve gunshots or violence of any kind. Some civil wars are, let us say, wars of opinion. Some are actually violent and people killing and harming each other. And dear ones, let us just say that in these times there are some imbalances, some pockets of chaos. There are, let us just say, imbalances that are being rebalanced, and some of these rebalances are abrupt and some of them are even harmful and violent. This will continue for a time until all of the revelations have come to light. So much of this is around suppressed information and perverted and subverted information about the inappropriate actions of those hiding behind the curtain, so to speak. It is rarely the ones who are fighting in the open who are the real perpetrators. It is usually those who are fighting in the open are goaded into doing this by those who are hiding behind some curtain somewhere. And until these curtains are fully lifted, these will accelerate, these distractions created by those operating behind the curtain. They are reaching a shrill crescendo, you might say, at this time. And yes, they will fall away as light shines behind these said curtains. There will no longer be those operating with the impunity of cover, you might say, to orchestrate these uprisings. So you will see some of this until the light has shone behind every curtain, dear ones. We are being joined by Stephanie's mother. Hello from North Bend, Oregon. And hello to you, Carolyn. Thank you for joining us. Dear Jadon Se, can you tell us your insight about the Emerald Order and the Rainbow Dragon Breath, please? Let us just say that the Emerald Order, dear ones, there are many beautiful stories that all intersect around the emerald energies. And there is even, yes, there are many different emerald orders. In different stories, they appear as different groups of beings that are have usually very similar purposes. And let us just say that there is also a green breath from beautiful dragon energies and realms. There is also a green ray from your Raphael, the archangel of healing, dear ones. God as healer, you might say. And so you could say that the truth of any deep emerald order, comes from the truth of the archetype of the green energies. And let us just say that overall, the prevailing green is a life force, a healing of life force, dear ones. This is why so much that is green is alive upon your world, and so many shades of green are present, and there is such beauty to a fresh green field or green leaves in a forest with the sunlight filtering through them. Your cameras cannot even capture all of these beautiful shades of brilliant, glowing life force energy. And so, therefore, these green rays, green emerald blessings, the Emerald Island of Ireland, you might say, all of these places that are known for these green energies are known for life force, and it is a deeply healing presence. So, let us say that in every story where there is an emerald order, the purpose behind this order is healing, restoring life to appropriate health and wellness and appropriateness, let us say, and restoring balance, dear ones. So, we will not speak of any one of these emerald orders in particular, for there are, again, many of them. And when we speak of the rainbow dragon breath, this is, let us say, spectrum breath, a full spectrum breath, showing all of the various rays separated into various energies that are discernible from the others. When you have pure white light, it is all of these rays combined into one. And when you have a rainbow, it is split into these discernible bands or rays of color. So let us say that what you have in common in your question is trying to understand, when you separate out the different aspects and energetic signatures of color, what can we gain from this? And dear ones, anyone who can see with color and uses color regularly knows that every color has a purpose and has a function and has an energetic blessing. So, yes, dear ones, you can use golden white light to give full spectrum blessing, and you can also give a full spectrum blessing by rainbow energies, dear ones. It is, let us just say, there are nuanced energies happening there. Beautiful, thank you. Jadon Se, how many hologram time matrices are there in the universe? Beyond count, dear ones. Let us just say that every world that is created is in some way, shape, or form a projection of sorts. A projection of what? When you say the word matrix or hologram, it is implied that you are using some sort of technology or some sort of technique or effort of beingness to artificially bring about some sort of realm or sense of holographic reality, so to speak. Let us just say that we will say that your question, the question behind your question, is more like how much of the universe is artificial versus organic and natural. And so, let us just say, to the extent that beings have used their free will and consciousness to create artificial realities, to that extent are there artificial realities. One might see that this is an infinite number, for there are infinite conscious fractals that are, let us say, exploring the realms of eternity. So, and because eternity has no beginning and end and is infinite in itself, even a small portion of eternity can be seen to be infinite. It is confusing sometimes. However, this is very much true. As many artificial desires as percolate in consciousness, there are artificial matrices, dear ones. Once a crystal has been charged with intention, does it need occasional recharge? Dear ones, let us just say that crystals are like vessels. They can be filled up with pure energies. They can be filled up with diluted energies or cocktails of energy, you might say, or potions or whatever. It is like having a wine glass or something. It can be filled up, and if you leave a wine glass outside in the rain and bugs are landing on it and all of this, and eventually the water in the wine glass, even if it started out with purity, might have a little bit of algae growing or some little protozoa swimming around in it or what have you. Some bird might fly by and poop, and you could be floating in your wine glass. And so, dear ones, it is like this. Your crystals pick up the energy of the environment that they are in. So, yes, they can be filled intentionally with energies, and they also accumulate energies of whatever space they are in. Therefore, it is advisable to periodically clean them as you would wash out and clean out that wine glass and refill it again with pure water. Do you see how this metaphor works? It is very apt for a crystal. You can wash your crystals lovingly in beautiful waters of Gaia, the best of which are like mountain springs and mountain streams, or beautiful pure lakes, or beautiful unpolluted oceans, and things like this, dear ones. It is, if you could get away from pollution when you are washing your crystal, you can also leave your crystals out in moonlight and in sunlight. These are also highly cleansing energies for a crystal, and you can ask whatever you are encoding in your crystal to remain through the cleansing. You do this very specifically. You say, I hereby cleanse out all inappropriate energies, or all energies that have accumulated that were not consciously put in this crystal by me, and I wish all of the energies I have purposefully and consciously put in this crystal to remain throughout the cleaning. And you can do it this way as well. Or you can also completely clear a crystal and re-encode it with a new purity of consciousness instruction, like filling up the wine glass with pure water once again, once it is clean. So this is the way to think of this, dear ones. Jadon Se, does the shape of the obsidian matter for each of the purpose that you mentioned? Well, of course, dear ones, when there is a shape to any form, there are flows of energy that are set up by such shapes. So, let us just say that an obsidian that is shaped in the shape of a womb is very different from one that is in the shape of an arrowhead. Do you feel the difference in the energies? One of them setting up a flow of energy in a direction, aka the arrowhead, the other focused within, and let us say nurturing some energy within it. And so, yes, dear ones, the geometries can matter, and so can what you deem these geometries to be. If you look upon a shape of obsidian and you see something that you feel to be a dragon's head or a dragon's horn or something like this, if you put your own feeling of dragon energies into an obsidian, or as we mentioned, one might look like a womb where a beingness is being born into this womb, is being created within the womb, let us say. Or let us just say if there is one that is in the shape of a diamond versus one that is in the shape of a heart, you feel into these energies, dear ones. Yes, shapes matter. Shapes evoke symbology. Shapes have sacred geometries in them. They set up flows of energy, eddies and currents of energy, even portals in some cases, dear ones. So, of course, shapes matter. What happens when you die? Is it different depending on your beliefs and vibration? The question isn't what happens when you die, dear ones. It's what happens when you come here and have this reality that you are experiencing here. When you die, you go home to your greater beingness. It is where you truly belong. When you come here, you are on this journey, this excursion, this adventure, whatever you wish to call it, this lifetime here. This is where things are odd and strange and out of whack, so to speak, on this side of the veil. This meat suit reality for some of you, you call it this, and it is, let us just say, not your natural state to be born as a little infant and have diapers changed and your butt wiped for several years before you even get to speak or something. This is not your natural state. You come into this state of being for a reason, for a story, dear ones. And when you return to your natural state, this is what happens when you die. You are returning to your natural beingness. For those of you who have played these video games, you can kind of feel into this where when you are playing the video game, you might be this character running around in this video world somewhere trying to accomplish something, and then you die in the video game, and the camera circles around your little dead video avatar laying in the field or whatever, and it says, "You lose, go try again," or whatever it is. And then you return to your consciousness of being the one holding the game controller, and you're like, oh, well, I almost made that level or whatever. You do not, when you pop out of the video game, you don't have this weird sense of, whoa, I'm in this side of reality, like I'm back on the real side of this video game, and whoa, what is this like? I have come here, I have died and come to this place, to this couch where I am sitting with a game controller. No, dear ones, this is not the feeling you get when you die. You don't go, whoa, I've died, where am I going now? No, dear ones, you just simply return to who you truly are. And it is the little bubble of beingness here that is popped, not the other way around. So do not look for the pearly gates or some grand staircase or whatever. You simply return to your true beingness, an expanded beingness, dear ones, your greater self, so to speak. Can you speak about the role of rising of divine feminine energies and Sophia dragons? Thank you. We have been speaking of this, dear ones, and let us just say that the Sophia dragons, let us just say that what are the symbols of a Sophia dragon? Think and feel into this. Discern for the energies of the divine feminine in the Sophia, which is deep wisdom, knowingness, beingness, love of wisdom, and love through wisdom, dear ones. Wisdom itself is the Sophia energy, this divine feminine, beautiful beingness it does not need to push outward. It pulls to itself all wisdom, all knowingness, all nurturing, all love, all caring and compassion. Dear ones, this Sophia dragon then becomes a form. What does a dragon symbolize? What is the archetype of a dragon? An uplifter, for dragons are winged, a fierce protector, a very powerful being with scales that cannot be penetrated by any but the magical weapons or whatever you wish to overlay these ideas of dragons being very protective and they are guardian energies, beautiful, powerful guardian energies, themselves the holders of wisdom and protectors of wisdom. And therefore, if Sophia energies are wisdom energies, and there is a Sophia dragon, is this not the guardian of the Sophia energies, the guardian of the divine feminine? And therefore, is it not a sort of balance? For any guardian spirit, any guardian being is a divine masculine being, dear ones. This is a divine masculine energy, a guardian, let us say a protector. It is even a grandmother who is guarding her grandchild she is expressing some divine masculine energy in being a fierce protector. When a mother is protecting a child from a wild animal attack and even throwing her own body and life in the way, it is the divine masculine rising in her for a brief moment of time. Do not confuse. Feminine beings can be operating in masculine ways and vice versa. So do not get confused by this. Each of you is not intrinsically masculine or feminine. Each of you is intrinsically spirit, coming to have a masculine or feminine or mixture of both story, dear ones. So do not be confused. Do not let identity get confused with gender. Let us just say that your energies are carried in whatever way your spirit needs to carry them. And you all make use of divine feminine and divine masculine energies. And the Sophia dragon symbolizes that beautiful balance. Dear Jadon Se, is there any relationship and concern regarding pineal gland and titanium dioxide that is so present in all sorts of care and makeup products? Yes, dear ones, all of the metallic substances, and also, dear ones, your very common chlorine that is in water and swimming pools and hot tubs and things like this, dear ones. And yes, there are many different, let us say, substances that are not beneficial to your pineal gland. Fluoride being well known, the fluoride that is put in toothpaste into rat poison. Yes, it is the primary ingredient in rat poisons, and the fluoride that is even added unwisely to water sources, deceptively, we will say, to make humanity docile and to shut down your third eye, your inner vision, your true sight, so to speak, deeper discernment. And so there are many, let us say, toxic substances in different various environments that can and do accumulate and encrust the pineal gland and therefore curtail some of the beautiful abilities of your divine human template and beingness here. And so what can be done about this? It is a multi-pronged approach to hygiene of your pineal gland, let us say. First and foremost being, give the pineal gland what it truly needs first and foremost. Before you even worry about what environment you are in and how many toxins you are exposed to, make sure that your pineal gland is well nourished by what? Your omega 3 fatty acids, fish oils and omegas are number one. Number two, iodine, beautiful, pure, high quality iodine. You must have enough of this in your beingness to coat this. It is like a protective coating on your pineal gland upon which the other encrusting toxins cannot stick. So if you have sufficient omegas and pure, beautiful iodine in the right amounts in your body, your pineal gland is already very well protected from any toxins. So this is first and foremost. Give your pineal gland what it needs and use your pineal gland. Yes, use your imagination. Use your ability to dream and have visions and certain bursts of inspiration and all of this. And use your imagination as much as you can. Draw, be creative, make music, open up your beautiful understanding to the inner realms, and that is next. And then, dear ones, then and only then, so we are feeding it what it needs and we are using it in appropriate ways, then you can start to take steps to limit the toxins that you are exposed to, starting with fluoride. Do not put fluoride in your mouth ever, dear ones. Not for your teeth, not for your water, any of this. It is a rat poison, truly, dear ones. It is not meant for your inner consumption, and so do not take in this fluoride. And dear ones, then try to limit how much chlorine is coming in contact with you. Yes, dear ones, you are also breathing various chemicals and heavy metals from inappropriate spraying in the skies and in the soil and all of this, and you are ingesting lead and heavy metals in, yes, cacao and chocolate even, it is coming into your body in so many different ways, and some of it nefarious and deceptive, evil ways. Yes, they are purposefully introducing lead into certain foods. And then there are genetic modifications. There are many toxins. You are not in a very clean pond, you might say, when you are swimming here on this current Gaia right now. It will be cleaned up. It will be a garden again. Do not worry. Do not fret too much about this. It is inevitable that this will be a garden paradise again very soon. So it is just through this time, protect yourselves. And then, dear ones, you can also remove these heavy metals from your beingness. You can remove them by using dandelion root tea that is organic, beautiful, well harvested, loved. You need to put love into any food that goes into your body. Thank any food or water that goes into your body. Send it love. This is very important, dear ones. Much more important than you know. It will, just the fact of sending love and thanks to a glass of water will greatly reduce the toxicity of that glass of water and make it pure and life force charged water. You do this with your food, and yes, bring in dandelions for detoxification of these accretions. Also, if it is organic, well-grown cilantro and parsley and certain leafy greens, that so long as they themselves are not grown in places of lead and cadmium, be very careful about this. Only even if it is called organic, it can still have lead and cadmium in it. It is unfortunate. This, let us just say that do your best to put in pure ingredients into your body and then remove those that are inappropriate with dandelion, cilantro, parsley. There are formulations of ingredients. There is an over-the-counter product you can buy called Folium that will help you to remove these accretions of inappropriate toxins and graphene oxide and all of these things that are prevalent in your environment. Dear ones, so much can be done. And then on top of that, breathe fresh air as often as you can. Have an air filter in your house or something like this so that your air is clean and fresh. Even if someone is spraying chemicals in the sky at 30,000 feet, if you have a good filter in your house running, it will be cleaned before it enters your lungs. So do this. And yes, dear ones, drink up of nature. Visit pure and beautiful places on ocean sides and lake sides and breathe in the beautiful negative ions from your beaches and your lakes and your streams, and stand under waterfalls and breathe deeply of that air that is blowing around under the waterfall. Do this, dear ones. Cleanse yourselves to the best of your ability. You will be fine, dear ones. You're tougher than you realize. What if you get clear quartz and diamond from a black panther, I think it is, in a meditation, from a black panther? Dear ones, black panthers are beautiful beings. Let us just say that a black panther, many they think, oh, darkness, blackness, it must be evil or something. No, dear ones, many dark and beautiful dark energies are natural and beautiful, like the night sky, dear ones. There is nothing evil about a star-filled night sky. And similarly, your black panther is basically a mountain lion that is black in appearance with yellow eyes, beautiful black energies. And it is, let us not think of this as an evil being. Let us think of this as a purity like the night sky, an absence of obvious energies, maybe just a dark sheen. And this is like when you look at the feathers of a raven and you see this blue sheen sort of on the surface of the black feathers. This black panther has this same quality, this cosmic sheen of beingness. And so, dear ones, it is a great blessing for you to have an encounter with a black panther in a dream. And if this black panther gives you clear quartz and diamond in the dream or meditation or what have you, your inner vision, whatever it has been, dear ones, feel into this. When a being that is itself very pure. For this is the form of darkness, blackness, that is a purity like the night sky. A no thingness. A no thingness does not mean empty. It means there isn't a thing there. It means that there isn't a form or an energetic taking form. And this is not necessarily an emptiness. It is when you feel into what the Buddhists call the void, when they are deep in meditations and they enter this realm of no thingness. Not even light is there. It is just this vast open space, so to speak, this void they call it. It is not an emptiness, dear ones. It is full. Full of what? Full of spirit, dear ones. Fullness of spirit, presence of deep awareness, consciousness, beingness, love, wisdom, presence, dear ones. So now imagine a being from this void of no thingness giving you something that is clear and geometric, like quartz or a diamond, and something that is itself clear and pure in its own way of being, and geometric. It is a thing. It is one of the first things in the kingdom of thingdom, you might say, forming out of this no thingness. And what does this mean to you? This thing coming from no thingness. This form springing up from the formless. Well, dear ones, you can each read into that symbol and come up with your own conclusions, dear ones. Thanks for all this live Q&A, everybody. And yes, I meant for Stephen, our channeler, from my last post. Blessings from Utah. It is okay, dear ones. His birth certificate says Stephen with a V, but some people call him Steve. And his grandfather from Oklahoma called him Stevio. So please do not call him Stevio in these transmissions. It might be distracting him. He might kick me out and start channeling his grandfather or something. So Jadon Se, how can one best support the children coming in to allow them to be and what they are meant to be on the planet and not get caught up in what is not working and being transformed now? Dear ones, any being coming to this reality, to this realm, to this world, to this your Gaia at this time of now, in this moment of now, has gone through something we will call the wind of becoming. What is the wind of becoming? If you can imagine a circular break in the clouds, and there are beings up in these clouds looking down upon a beautiful meadow, and in the meadow is a beautiful pure forest, and in the forest there are meadows. You get the picture. And in the meadow there is a village, a beautiful village with warm lights glowing in the windows, and a little town square, and loving beings walking around in the town square below. And you see these beings are all up here in the clouds looking down upon this village. And one of them is deciding, I am going to be born into this village. I am going to have a lifetime and be a child that grows up in this village. And dear ones, these beings know what they are coming into. They have chosen to come into this time and place. They have charted in what sort of family they will have. They have charted in what sort of homes they will live in. They have charted in whether they will be living by the beach or in the woods or in a city or what have you. They have charted in so many different aspects of this story that they have come to explore in this lifetime, dear ones. So let us just say, you do not need to do much for these children who are coming here. They know exactly what they are doing and where they are entering and what sort of story they are going to play a role in. And so let us just say that they are wiser than you know. And as time passes and we are moving into this realm of greater light, the beings that are coming are more and more aware and awake upon arrival. Some of them learning to read and write much, much earlier. Some of them even speaking within their first 2 years of being here. It is, let us just say, speaking very complex language and all of this, and deep understandings and wisdoms coming through. Many of these children will be recognized immediately as quote unquote old souls, wise beyond their years, so to speak. And let us just say that there is nothing that you need to do to prepare for them. They know exactly what they are walking into and coming into. Even these children who have been inappropriately, let us say, have been taken advantage of in inappropriate ways. Dear ones, you will see a great, beautiful new chapter is unfolding. Justice is being restored on so many levels, and healing modalities are becoming very effective and pronounced, and beautiful happy endings for even the unhappiest of children, let us say, are in store for those who are striding with confidence into this golden age. So there is nothing you need to do per se, other than do the best you can to create a better world than the one you got, and send them love, dear ones. Is it somewhere accurate to say that you, Jadon Se, are a 14D seraphim dragon? Heard somebody say that. That I thought I would ask you. Dear ones, the seraphim are indeed from the third level of the third arc of consciousness, let us say. It is not truly a level, it is an arc. It is hard to explain. The seraphim are, yes, they call the third arc of consciousness their primary realm. And yes, this is where this cosmic golden dragon resides and is my primary realm. The third arc of consciousness is closest to my beingness, you might say, the truth of who I am. So, yes, you can call me a seraphim if you wish, dear ones. And we work with seraphim beings. Many of you, dear ones, are seraphim, and that is why you are called to these gatherings. Take that in. Many of you are angels in disguise. Earth angels, you might say, here on earth, fractals of these seraphim angels, these beautiful celestial beings. So feel this. Are you a seraphim? Feel into that, dear ones. It is 1232 in your moment of now on the Pacific time. So we will wind this up, dear ones. Thank you for coming and being here with us, my earth angels and dragons and dragon keepers and dragon speakers and dragon riders. And you get the picture, dear ones. Thank you for joining us. And let us, before we go, do our shout outs again. So please go ahead and put in this beautiful chat where on this beautiful Gaia, in this moment of now that you are. Let us do this. It is so fun. Your Stephen gets to do it in the beginning, and your Jadon Se is doing it now at the end. And so it is a lot of fun, let us say. Beautiful, dear ones. So we will put up our map. Thank you for joining us, dear ones, from Toronto, Canada, dear ones. We are, some of you are from Groves, Texas. We have someone from Colorado, from Aarschot, Belgium, from Holland. South Africa is here. We have Niagara, Canada here. We have Berkeley, California, North Bend, Oregon. Hello to Stephanie's mom. We have London, England in the house. Vermont is here. We have Der Schweiz, Switzerland in the house. Peekskill, New York. That is a very interesting name, Peekskill. Nairobi, Kenya is in the house. Beautiful. Massachusetts. This must be Worcester, Massachusetts. And we have London, UK in the house. Camden, New Jersey here with us today. Thank you for joining us. Lake Isabella, California. Price, Utah with us today. Do you feel your energies, all of those gathered here? You are in many subtle and beautiful ways creating a grid, dear ones, a grid on this your Gaia, a grid of consciousness, understanding, wisdom. Spread this wisdom, spread your light, shine your light, just even if it is just bringing a smile to someone's face. Be of service. And remember your readings, dear ones, that you have a rose ray breath, a rose breath blessing upon you right now, the divine feminine, that you are protected, and to prioritize self care in this time, dear ones. Don't run out to try to do anything new right now. Gather up your life force, your energies for the change that is coming. And it is, dear ones. And you are protected and safe, and everything is beautiful. So, prioritize self care at this time. And thank you for gathering with us. We will speak again with you. For those of you who are joining us for the Golden Code number 5 tomorrow, I am called. This is your purpose will be so seen and activated, let us say, and purposes, many purposes. Beautiful, dear ones. This will be of assistance on your path into this golden age. And those who are joining us for working with Dragon Energies Level 2, you'll love the class tomorrow. There is pure magic to be worked tomorrow with your dragon spark, dear one, your ember glow. Beautiful. We look forward to seeing all of you. And we will also speak to you again on Wednesday. Thank you for joining us.